the stuff that's about now wasn't. Hello. Anyone see me again? Hear me again? So I got kicked off the Wi-Fi. Might be the storm, the wind and things. I don't know. So if anybody's back, just give me a shout. My Wi-Fi's been pretty bad all day, actually. So anybody back? Otherwise, I'm talking to myself. Oh, 2 people here. Say hi, so I can see you there. Sorry, got kicked off Wi-Fi. So, if I get kicked off again, hopefully not. We'll see. So, back to the beginning. Oh, I'm back. I got kicked off the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi's rubbish here today. Might be the storm still. I'm not sure, but I got kicked off. Okay, so quite a few years ago, myself and my 2 daughters were doing classes with Good Citizen Scheme. We were going to classes, and hi Jan, hey, I got kicked off just now, so if I get kicked off again, I might just end up trying to get another time slot because my Wi-Fi is rubbish today. It's been like that all day. So anyway, Good Citizen Scheme classes, where the classes were too big and the methods used were not good, but we didn't get involved in that, luckily, because we already had a little bit of background about what we were doing with training our own dogs. So also got involved in competing with dog sports, got heavily involved in competing with agility with both my 2 daughters, who did really well with their dogs, and were members of the Young Kennel Club. Young Kennel Club is brilliant for the kids. There's loads for them to do, and they don't always have to compete against adults. They can go and do just Young Kennel Club classes with, at the time, Hear What's Music and grooming and agility and the Young Kennel Club flyball teams and everything. So we were a bit nuts, me and the girls, going to lots of competitions and enjoying the dogs. So there's a little bit of background and dog sports for quite a few years. At the moment, I compete in canine freestyle with one of my dogs, who also does flyball, and I compete in scent work with 2 others. And hopefully I'm going to do Hear What's Music with my youngster. But I've got a bit of a collection of elderly dogs now, so a little bit of time. I'm only putting a lot of training into probably 2 dogs at the moment out of 5 that live here. So what I actually wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, unless you've got any questions on any of the other stuff, I just wanted to give you a bit of background of what I do. So I'm a clicker trainer. So I've been a clicker trainer for a long time now. It fascinates me, this stuff that we do with shaping and that. So it's fascinating how we can teach dogs to do things like that. So about my new little thing that I've been doing, which is called Collie College. That rolls off the tongue a little bit. Collie College. So it's a little bit of a brainwave that a couple of other people are helping me work with. Collie College is dedicated to the obvious and collie crosses. So it's all online. It's a Facebook page and a private training group where I'm getting involved in teaching people little bits they can do with their dogs for enrichment. It's dedicated to collies, because also I'm going to be doing things that is relevant to collies on there, with some of their things that collies do with chasing and all that. So a little bit of background about Collie College. There's a Facebook page called Collie College, and there's a private training group attached to that. that's been only up a couple of weeks now. Okay, so I realised recently, since we've been in lockdown as well, that the amount of online courses people are prepared to do with their dogs is skyrocketing. Online courses in everything, including dog training, as well as Zoom classes. It's all just changed completely. So a lot of the youngsters who are doing amazing presentations on this conference is just amazing. I'm amazed by a lot of the speakers. It's been absolutely brilliant, and the last one was as well. So online courses, people are getting involved in loads of online courses now, which didn't happen a few years ago at all. So the reasons I started Collie College was a bit of a brainwave, and because I have myself here a rescue working sheepdog who was quite hard work. It's still hard work. She's a working dog. She's 13 I think now. So she came from the Dogs Trust, and the Dogs Trust, bless them, told me that she watches traffic. And that was my first pure collie. A collie cross I had previously to that, and another collie cross I'd had previous to that had no car chasing or chasing instincts in them at all. So it's my first sort of real full-on working sheepdog type collie that was chasey and manic, and took a while to find the off switch. Got involved in lots of dog sports with her, which helped her immensely. She did well at agility, although she was always really manic at it. A bit crazy. She did really well at obedience. That was really useful for her because she was calm when she was working doing that. And now doing her scent work, she's amazing. Hello, Ruby, Charlotte. So Poppy, who's now 13, has been doing scent works for about 4 years. She's been amazing at that, and it's a different dog to the one that you take to flyball and agility, a different dog. So those sorts of dog sports that are coming up now are great for the high drive dogs, because gives them something to do with their brains, but also keeps them on a calmer level. And anyway, where were we? Collies. So talking a little bit about collies, I spoke about this a week or so ago. Collies, working sheepdogs and Welsh sheepdogs. So another reason for Collie College is because I quite often get approached by people who've been and bought themselves a collie, and that collie is definitely a working type, what I call a working sheepdog, as opposed to a pedigree type, show dog type border collie. The person who's bought that dog doesn't actually know that there's a difference between the two. One is genetically bred to be able to work hard all day for that. People are amazed with my guys what they are like public. Yeah, they are, because they've got a job to do. So these working sheepdog type of collies need work to do. A lot of them end up in dog sports homes, but some of them end up in the wrong homes with the wrong families who are not the right sort of people. I think one of the reasons may be from what I've seen, that they can be bought from by the side of the road in Wales or Scotland or something on holiday, sheepdogs for sale, etc., by the side of the road. So you can buy a collie stroke sheepdog quite cheaply out in the countryside there, where the farmer has bred a litter where he wanted some sheep, and maybe selling off the ones that he doesn't want, that are perhaps not so good on sheep, which then they sell for a lot cheaper than a pedigree border collie. So the breeders of pedigree border collies put a lot of time and effort into breeding and genetics and breed a calmer variety that is still able to herd sheep for the day, but is calmer because they need that for the show ring. They need a slightly calmer variety. I certainly would not want to take Poppy into the show ring, bless her. Should just be too bored, and too bored. So there is a little bit of difference. There's also something that is a Welsh sheepdog. So some people have said to me, oh, Welsh sheepdog is crossed with a border collie and a working sheepdog. It is genetically slightly calmer than a working sheepdog. But unless you look into it, which pet dog owners don't, unless they look into it, they really don't have a clue what they're buying. And so a lot of these collies end up in the wrong homes where they're expected to be a pet, and unless they're a pet with someone who's really active and going to give them lots of mental stimulation and stuff, get involved in dog sports, the average pet home doesn't really work. So the little things, bless them, end up in rescue. There's dedicated collie rescues. There's a lot of dedicated collie rescue places. So that's what happens a lot of the time. It's a shame, but the farmers are selling them the ones they don't want, and the people are not researching what they're getting, and off they're going and buying. And it's a lot cheaper to buy that puppy from the farmer than it is from a pedigree breeder. The other thing that happens is, to that little working sheepdog puppy that's sold from the farmers, he hasn't had the early socialization that the pedigree border collie has, of being in the home, of having the hoover and the washing machine on, maybe having kids noises, because it's been in a barn, just in a barn with sawdust, and its mother, yes. So people buying don't take that into account. The majority of breeders, although they're not, even pedigree breeders, they're not all as good as each other, are they? Some of them are less good, but some of them are amazing, and their dogs are amazing. So you can't say they're not. So it's worth trying to get people to research what they're buying. No matter what dog they're buying, they need to research what dog they're buying, and will it suit their lifestyle, where they're getting it from, because they could end up costing them a lot of money if they get the wrong dog. So Collie College, and Collie inherited health conditions and so on that aren't known about at all by the pet shopper, yeah, it's a good term. So and the people selling them off the farm aren't giving them any information about any of that. It's very difficult to get the information unless you look hard. So because I do this, and a few of us do, we know a little bit about the background. So anyhow, I feel I'm waffling a little bit. So any of you want to ask any questions, please do. Ruby says she 100% agrees. So these border collie or working sheepdog or a Welsh sheepdog, whichever version you have, or cross between one or the other, need an active home with a dog sports involved, or at least know enough about the fact that their dog needs to do a lot more than if they'd bought, I don't know what what should they have bought? I mentioned this the other day, should they have bought themselves a Shih Tzu? I don't know, but socializing is obvious with Boswell. Be glad when we can get mixing, yeah. So socialization thing is, if you're gonna use your dog for dog sports, the biggest thing that I do, and make sure I do, is teach my dogs to ignore other dogs. So I don't sort of let them go off and meander around with anything and everything. I teach them to ignore just about everything, and put a lot of time into that because I'm going to go and compete with them. It's quite difficult to do, and that a lot of normal pet people don't realise that they shouldn't be letting their dogs run up to other dogs, which you all know. You know, oh, it's only being friendly. It's only being friendly thing. That was all my worst nightmare. So my little youngster is very, very friendly, and it's very hard work to keep him in tow when there's exciting stuff going on around. So I put a lot of time into it because he's such a friendly little guy, and everything's exciting, everything's a laugh. To keep him with me when there's really exciting stuff going on is really difficult, but it's worth me putting a lot of time into it. So yeah, if he's nervous, so you've probably heard the term, Denise, of flooding. Just don't go ahead and do the flooding, because that can just make the whole thing loads worse. Don't go ahead and do flooding. Anyway, Collie College. Denise, if you want to message me about anything, and you are involved in Collie College, so there's lots to do on there, and there'll be more. It's only been 2 weeks so far with that. So a lot of people don't realise, normal people, pet people, not the dog trainers so much, obviously they know about that, but don't realise they've got such a clever dog. Not that all dogs aren't clever, because really they are, but they are extremely clever, and they need to do stuff, and if they don't, they develop all sorts of problems. All sorts of problems. And you know, you got the chasing kids, and people don't manage their dogs very well, so people who don't know what they're doing, they don't use barriers and crates enough, and so on, so their dogs are doing stuff that they shouldn't be being allowed to do. So there's not enough management going in there early on. So I look at a lot of Border Collie groups now, studying what people ask for help with, and it is quite silly what people say when I look on Border Collie groups, because I'm looking at what people are struggling with, what pet people are struggling with, and it's my puppy's eating stones. It's eating stones. What else is it doing? It's biting kids, it's biting me, it's eating the house, it's doing all sorts of things. And this is Border Collie groups, so I get involved in quite a few Border Collie groups now, trying not to jump in, but there's people remarking on all sorts of things which are not nice. Oh, you need to be the boss. You need to make sure the dog, the little dog, the puppy, knows who's the boss. How ridiculous. So all of us know that that's completely ridiculous. But there's a lot of that still about. So I try and ever so politely step in. I tag Collie College in those posts and don't get involved in the argument, because the arguments can be massive, incredible. It's really hard to not get involved with the arguments with those Border Collie groups, but I really can't, because it's just all too much. So if any of you see anything like that, any of you have got collies who see anything like that on Border Collie groups, please, I'm more than happy for you to tag Collie College and send them, and they can ask questions and they'll get a decent answer, rather than one that says that you have to do this and you have to, madness. Why people get collies if they aren't going to put the work in? Well, they do. It is madness, but people are mad. So yes, they do. They really do. I don't know why. I happen to think that they're amazing looking and I love them to bits, but why would you get a high drive working dog and expect it to be even with farms? Oh, Ruby did well. I mean, as you can imagine, if you think about it, the good Border Collie breeders put a lot of time into early socializing their dogs with all house noises, and the puppies are brought up in the house, the massive difference between the amount of early socialization that Border Collie pedigree puppy gets between the one that was brought up in a barn. The early socialization is not happening. It's okay if that dog's staying in a farm and living in a kennel and everything, but then bringing that puppy into the average, don't do collie groups. Now I can imagine you don't, Lisa. It's very hard. It's very, very hard, but it's because I'm trying to divert people from the Border Collie groups where they're being suggested to do all sorts of ridiculous things onto Collie College, so that, which is, the Collie College is totally free, and I help people on there. The Dog Training Goals group, which is attached to that, isn't totally free. There'll be things for people to little mini courses in different things, but the Collie College page is completely free, so at least people will get sensible advice about what they should and shouldn't be doing, and not stupid stuff that they really should not be doing, which you all know that people shouldn't be doing. So what was I going to say? Yeah, so the people who go and buy these little dogs, cute little collies off farms, you can see these little puppies on the sale pages online, can't you? You know, and compared to the prices that that they're paying for them from the breeders is madness. A lot cheaper. Still a bit expensive at the moment because it's lockdown prices, isn't it? So it's, the collies are fun and love to learn statements. Yeah. So people who see collies behaving really nicely think that they're easy to train, don't they? Well, because they see them behaving nicely. A lot of work has gone into it to get them to that stage, and they are fun. Mine are just loads of fun, so they keep me on my toes and keep me busy. So they're always getting involved with me in everything I do, whether it's me training them or me going to training, or me filming videos of them doing stuff, do loads of stuff with them. In the summer last year, I made a trick training group, which kept a few people busy, and myself also did some more trick titles with my youngster. So those trick titles are really good fun to do. So got involved in that and helped some people out with their dogs doing some trick titles and that. So we really enjoyed it, and it kept the dogs busy, the little dogs, any dog, but especially the clever dogs, really clever dogs, really enjoy working things out. So with my dogs, we get involved in things like free shaping for tricks and free shaping, and then I go and take my little scented tin, I had it out a little, I put it away now, out to the park and hide that up and get the dogs to find it, and I go out there and do some heel work in public and stuff, so that they keeps them a little bit busy and keeps them trained, keeps their brain going, because hopefully competitions will come back at some stage later on this year. You never know. The heel work to music competitions are indoors though, so I don't know, September-ish maybe. Who bought a working Border Collie puppy but thought collies were pre-trained. Well, Kirsty. Yeah. That's because I said previously, you know, that people see them behaving so nicely and they're competing on telly, doing agility, doing obedience, doing all these things that these dog sports competitors had trained them up for, and think that they come like that. Well, people are, this pet people, they're just crazy. You've got a new Collie, great example to the public not to get one. Yes. What, a farm collie? No. Yes. See, I don't know the background of either of my collies. One of them is a rescue from Dogs Trust and is most likely a working sheepdog. She's quite petite. She would never show. Temperamentally, she'd never show. And bodily, looking at her, there's no way. And she's the one who's taught me so much. And my little red tri that I do freestyle with, I don't know her parentage either. She was given to me, so she looks like she could be a border collie proper, but I have got no idea. And luckily I've had no health problems with either of them, but because I don't know their backgrounds, I had one given to me and another one from the Dogs Trust. With those two that I've got at the moment, did have a working sheepdog previously that actually looked like it might have some German Shepherd in it, quite stocky, from the Dogs Trust, and Collie Cross Labrador, a Borodor I think it's called. Ruby knows what a Borodor is. So I had a Borodor and he was a maniac. He taught me loads of stuff. He was a maniac. Agility was the making of him because he had to learn some patience and weights and to do stuff properly rather than just run around like a loon. Unfortunately, he died quite young with a tragic accident where he managed to break his neck by running into a groin. He was a bit like a boy racer. He was always charging about like a complete nutcase. And obviously he was, you know, the cause of his own demise by being a bit of a nutcase. And I think it was definitely more Collie than Labrador, but a Borodor. A nutcase of a Borodor. So I've had Collies and Collie Crosses. And my youngster at the moment is a Collie Cross Sheltie who was well bred. Oh my gosh, that must have been awful. It was, Kim. It was the most awful thing. One of the most awful things that's ever happened to me. That watching your dog running headfirst into a groin. He actually ran, he was running on the beach. And he could have gone over or under that groin. But something caught his eye just as he was in the wrong place. And he must have hit the groin on the side of his head and just broke his neck there and then. So that was really awful. But I say, but you know, it's a long time ago now. Just after he died was when I got Poppy, and she's 13 now, so it's a long time ago now. It was awful, but you know, being a sort of a boy racer sort of a guy, that sort of dog needs to work, even though he's, you know, probably part Labrador. So how clever he that particular dog was, that Borodor of mine. He knew. Denise, did you meet Icy? Did you ever see Icy? Black dog, Borodor. Anyway, somebody I know. So he had only done a year of competing, and he died when he was 3. Yeah, so just after he died, I got Poppy, who is the little tri collie. Sorry, got itchy nose. Little tri collie that I do a lot with, and has done amazingly well and worked for both my kids doing agility as well, and has done really well in scent work. Poppy was the first I remember, yeah, best cross. Yeah, Borodor that called Ice, that came from the Dogs Trust. Just something came up, I'm thinking about Borodor. He had taught himself, he was only 1, just less than 1, when he came back from the Dogs Trust, and he had taught himself, have any of you ever seen this, to smile with their front teeth? Sorry. Make you all laugh. So he had taught himself to smile with his front teeth. I've known a couple of other dogs that have managed to teach themselves to smile with their front teeth. There's a Dalmatian in one of my classes, a little Dalmatian bitch that can do that. It looks really hilarious. He was only 1 year old, a rescue dog. Oh my God, yes. He had taught himself to smile with his front teeth. That's not a natural thing. I can't understand how he managed to teach himself to do that. But there he was behind the glass screen in the Dogs Trust, grinning at me and my 2 daughters. So he came home. Little black dog with 2/3 of a tail, and so on. Anyway, a bit less about him. So a little bit more about what's happening with Collie College and the development. Oh, Julie's Pointer is so funny with it. Can Julie's Pointer grin, smile as well? Yeah. There aren't that many dogs that I have seen do it. I don't understand how they manage to do it, but it's a funny thing. It used to make me laugh the whole time. So, Collie College going wise, it is about online. Betsy learned how to escape her double locked crate and undo zips by 8 weeks. Milo can undo airline crates. So smart. So smart. But how does a dog teach itself to grin with its front teeth? How do they do that? Because it actually looks to someone who's not sure. I mean, it's obvious to me that it's not a growl or a baring of the teeth thing. It's just a thing. It just makes me laugh. I don't know how they do it or how they manage to teach themselves to do it. But I wrote about it recently on my coursework. Anyway, Collie College is set up online. Yeah, social learning. Exactly. They learned it off of watching people do it. So lots of people smiled at him. And he thought smiling was good, and he copied. Yeah, so where was I? Sorry. Helping pet people to learn about what a collie is, what it can do, teaching the dog stuff with teaching them, if possible, to use clickers or marker words, teaching them force-free and positive reward training and all that stuff that some of us know. So, but getting people involved in learning that. So learning online, they're not going to feel embarrassed with their lunatic dog that they've done nothing with and they need to start doing things with. So they won't have to turn up at class because it's all done online. I've got people I know there are people on this from all over the place, all over different countries. So I've got people from lots of different countries on Collie College so far. Already started putting some videos up for them to start doing things. Free stuff so far. And just trying to help really and keep doing the things I enjoy doing. Giving people some knowledge that they may not otherwise have. I mean, they go and get a dog and especially during lockdown, they've probably done nothing at all until it's all gone completely wrong. Ellen, hello, Ellen. So they've done nothing at all until it's all gone completely wrong. They've got this little collie puppy that they've might have probably bought from a farm, might have bought in lockdown, and they're really struggling. And from reading the border collie groups that I read on Facebook, lots of border collie groups, and see lots of stuff is going on and it is going wrong. So I'm trying to help with all those things, trying to give them stuff to train, trying to make it simple, but that's a learning curve for me sometimes. Trying to keep things simple, for them, for people to pick up, and trying to get involved in a little bit. I dread to think how many are going to end up in the rescues. Yeah, Kim. So if we can help them not end up in the rescues, that would be really good. because I don't want them to all end up in the rescue. So hopefully by doing online courses, which people are getting more involved in over the past few years, we can help more people to do things with their dogs that their dogs need to do. So, I mean, I live in the countryside relatively, but still in a town, and I need to be able to walk sensibly. I like to walk around the town sometimes and take the dogs through town, and because I practiced it and I put some training in with it, walking around the town with the dogs, then that doesn't bother them or faze them. But you need to put the work in and know what you're doing. I saw a comment on one of the groups the other day that someone suggested that their collie didn't like the traffic, and someone else suggested, oh, you just go and take it and stand right next to a busy road for a few hours and then it will be fine. So it really won't be fine. So lots of bad advice is being given out on a load of these groups, and I have to show enough restraint to not jump in and just say, oh, I think I said on that thing, I just said, well, flooding is not the answer. Yikes, yeah, flooding is not the answer. That was it. Short sentence, and then tagged Collie College on what I'd written, because 2 or 3 people had said that. So I've put the time in. Ooh, leaving breed groups. Yes, I know. I think, you know, it'll only be a little while. I can't cope. But keeping yourself in check of what you're saying on these groups is really difficult. But that's all I said. Flooding is not the answer. Very restrained. So lots of people going to these groups that for advice, and lots of people giving advice which is the wrong advice. And I just hope that not too many dogs go too much worse. But it's up to them who they want to listen to at the end of the day, isn't it, really? Because they're asking on a group rather than asking a professional. Impulse control is impressive. Yeah. It is. I'm quite this is my impulse control. So if I'm going to train my dog's impulse control, I need some myself. So yeah, I'm training myself impulse control so that I learn how to take my mouth. I'm not always the best at it, and people who know me well enough know that I'm not always the best at it. But I'm still training. It's constant training, isn't it? The same as it is with the dogs. It's constant training. It's never finished. Considered myself experienced enough to have another border collie, but never had a reactive dog before. No, Jan, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough. The world of reactive dogs is tough, and having one is tough because quite restricting. Got a dog park appeared here. Now have a village full of reactive dogs as they let them run right at the park. Yep, happens to me all the time. I go to the park and mind my own business with the doggies. Sometimes have all of them. Simba on a lead because he's deaf and can't hear me, and Sid on a lead because he has a brilliant recall and he's not bad behaviour wise at all, unless it's the Labrador that runs at him from all the way over there. And that's, I'm sorry about saying that's a Labrador, because it's probably because 80% of the time it is a Labrador coming from all the way over there. Their owner is all the way over there, and it's the he's only being friendly thing. Sid, my little tiny rescue dog, who, if the park is empty and he gets off his lead and there's no one about, he has a whale of a time and comes back every single time I call him. But he just hates what I call incoming. and then he's a right git to the incoming, and I don't want him to practice that. So when I go to a park and it's busy, then he has to keep the lead on, not because of the other people, not because of himself, because of all the other people. So yeah, you do get, you know, a fair number of what I call incoming. So I've got eyes in the back of my head when I've got 5 dogs out with me in the park. It's the dog park, and Reactive Dogs. I know Jan here, who's very careful with her dogs, and remember you getting Sid? Yeah, Sid. Sid's great, and he's just a little dog. And he's fine with people he knows and people. He's a little I don't know, Chihuahua-y cross or something. He just hates the incoming from over there, and gets very upset about all of that. Really gets very upset. So he has to stay on his lead, not because of that dog over there that might come and run and upset him. So he's off his lead when there's no one in the park, or if I'm on a private field or something. So yeah, I hate all those dogs that just come running from nowhere. It's such a shame, but it's a bit difficult to gather them all up and educate them. He is a thingy. He's definitely a thingy. Sid is definitely a thingy. He's where is he? Oh, he's fast asleep, which is normal for him now these days, curled up in a ball, fast asleep. He's looks like a Chihuahua cross. Betsy thinks that's very reasonable. Yeah, keep him on a lead because of the others. Not because of himself, but because of the others. What a shame for him. Yeah, he'd just stay with me. He just stays with me and ignores everything. You know, he's done some agility and done lots of things. He has to stay with me. Hey, Steph's here. Hey, Steph. He has to stay with me because of that dog over there that comes charging towards him. So let me just have a little drink a minute. Any random questions people have got? So if you all have a little look up of me, who hasn't already, of the Collie College, and driving it forwards, trying to pick up people, no matter what country they're in, who are struggling with their collies, from some of the collie pages where they're being told to do horrid things, which we won't mention. So trying to pick up those sorts of people to stick on the Collie College page, which is going quite well so far. And gonna give them mini courses and help them out for nothing as much as I can. And hopefully they'll pay for some things that they do. That's the general plan. Oh, good. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. Did you see one I put up today, Jan? Put up a little sustained targeting clip thing that Poppy did with me so far. So today. So I'm going to be doing some more scent work, because Poppy competes in scent work and she completely loves it. So she's going to do some more more scent work videos for you all on the training goals group. So helping people with their dogs with their chase problems, helping people. Oh, have you? Am I? Ruby, thanks for that. I'm just myself, aren't I? So I just sit here and just chat and waffle, so, and answer people's questions if they've got them. But I love some of the presentations that people are doing, Ruby. Some of the amazing presentations with all these slides, and I think, wow, absolutely wow. Such a lot of tech to try and learn. Don't think I'll do that, but love you. Yes, love me. So just try and be me, and do what I do and talk how I talk, and trying to grow Collie College, and so you can't forget that, can you? Because I can barely say it. Believe me, this is just squash. 'Tis not wine. I'll be having wine after I finish talking. So just helping people with their puppies and showing them better ways of doing things, trying to whip them off of groups where they're being advised to do bad stuff. That's what I'm doing. I feel like I'm a couple of times a day going around all the collie groups and pulling up things. All the random ones that are on Facebooky, and with the help of some friends who are teaching me how to do all of this, and giving me a kick. I'm moving forwards with it. Different classes restarting again, which I love doing face-to-face classes, and it's all restarting again in April and then May and all that. So I've got Man Trailing UK course to do. Whoopee! That has been delayed twice. Well, I will get asked if I mention it to people. Yeah, how much is Collie College? So Collie College page is free, Lisa. Collie College page is free. People can ask questions. They'll get free advice from me up to a point. It will not be the wrong advice. So there is a training group attached to Collie College, which is a private training group, and that is also free, but it will have the odd little course sprouting out from it, which will not be free, but will not be massively expensive, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Yeah, there is a little spout out every now and again which will be not free, but it will be obvious that that's not free. We'll speed it on local page. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah. Spread. Yeah. So you know it's there, and I'm just trying to partly help people and partly help my business as well. So it won't all be free, but it'll be obvious when something is not free. But the Collie College page is free, and it's aimed at pet people who are struggling. There are people who various degrees of knowledge on there, some people who know a lot, some people who know nothing. So but on the whole it's aimed at the average pet person who's struggling, who wants a little bit help to get them off of the pages where people are being told to do stupid things. And little bits of fun things with trick training and things that they can do to use their little dog's brain. So try and get them to do more stuff than just go out there with their ball flingers all the time. So the miles that those dogs do after their ball and their ball flingers is just amazing. So I throw balls. I definitely throw balls. I don't always go and do training. I definitely throw balls. But my dogs do a lot of stuff. As you all know, my dogs do a lot of stuff besides me throwing balls. And quite often just go for walks with definitely no balls, just so that they can walk without a ball, without continuously asking me for a ball. Tia does struggle with that. She's like, well, are we having a ball? Oh, no, you're not having a ball. We're just going for a walk. And I walk around the fields, look at the animals, and explaining to my dogs that they're not chasing the animals. They're just looking at them and doing scent work and just letting them sniff. Various things that I do when we go out. We don't just go out to the field and throw a ball. So yeah, man trailing, I mentioned that. Man trailing's coming soon, so that won't be on Collie College, but I'm excited about that. So that's been cancelled. My course for that's been cancelled. Yeah, Go Dog stuff, that's been cancelled twice now because of COVID, and it's coming again in April, so brilliant. So that's my little bit of excitement. Plus I've started doing my behaviourist, I'm doing level 5 with the ISCP. There's some ISCPers speaking, Ruby, as well, aren't there now? I saw a few of them were. Jess needs flyball. Yes. we love Flyball because we just love being in a team. I love teams. It's a lot of fun. We've got a nice little team that's really sociable. We don't do getting involved in really pushing the dogs, and just because it's a nice little friendly team and go out for the day and run the dogs, so we don't go nuts with Flyball like some of the bigger teams do. We just really enjoy it, don't we, Steph? Flyball coming back soon. I think April, I said. Yeah, so we'll be coming back. We're coming back again to do that. Looking forward to seeing everybody. I just love the team atmosphere of it all. Does anybody want to ask anything before I finish off? Disc dog, yeah. I think Jive would love disc dog. Disc dog. He does chuck himself into the air after the ball. Ruby, Jive does. He's 3 next month. He does chuck himself into the air after the ball, so I think he would do it, you know. I do. So he does tricks as well, so he loves doing tricks and loves thinking of stuff. Jive is my 3-year-old Sheltie Collie. We do love it, yeah. So a couple of minutes left if anybody wants to give me a random question. I'm looking forward to my dinner and a glass of wine instead of squash. Yeah. We'd love to have a go at disc. I even bought a disc a while ago, but I got so busy. I moved house, moved house, and it's been a bit manic. Okay, so we'll finish off. I'll look back later if there's any other questions, or if you want to ask me any questions via the Collie College group. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you Ruby again for organising all of this stuff. It's just manic. It's absolutely crazy, Ruby. All of this. Some amazing speakers for you guys to listen to. How long is it going on for, Ruby? Is it a week? A whole week or something like that? Different speakers are speaking. Some of them have got amazing presentations. Some fantastic people coming up. So get in touch if you need me for anything. I'm happy to chat about whatever, and I'll help where I can. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Steph. Nice to not see you, virtually see you. Hopefully we'll catch up at some point, and enjoy yourself watching all the different conferences. I've learnt loads of stuff over the last one, listening to people. So they're all stored. So if you miss someone, 31st it finishes. Wow, Debbie. That's just amazing. It's an amazing feat. I am a human collie, 18 days. I think you are. I think you are, Ruby. So listen to some of the other speakers, because they're just amazing. A bit gobsmacked by some of it all, to be honest. Walking around with the phone switched on in my pocket and going about my day-to-day life, listening to people. So anyway, I'm going now. Not sure if there's someone on directly after me, but I need a glass of wine and my dinner. And ta-ta for now, and see you when I see you. Thank you for being there. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.